여러분 안녕하십니까? 저는 유유 제약의 대표이사 유원상이랍니다. 반갑습니다. 박수 한번 좀 부탁드려도 될까요? 있는 분이라도요. 네, 감사합니다. 네, 오늘 이렇게 포럼에 참석해 주신 모든 분께 감사드리고 점심 드시고 또 피곤하실 텐데 또 강의를 이렇게 계속해서 경청해 주신 구독자 여러분들께 감사드립니다. 저는 오늘 코로나 관련돼서 기업의 역할에 대해서 세션을 갖게 되었는데요. 이거를 또 영어로 하기로 해가지고 지금부터 프레젠테이션을 영어로 진행하도록 하겠습니다. So, ladies and gentlemen, pleasure to meet you. My name is Robert Yu. I am the CEO of Yuyu Pharma, which is a family business. And before I discuss about the corporate's role during these difficult pandemic times of COVID-19, I thought it would be appropriate to do a brief introduction of our company. So Yuyu Pharma was founded by my grandfather in 1941. We've been in business for over 80 years. Some people know it as Yuyu's Hanop. If you go back a little bit more back in history, my great uncle, his name is Yuiran Baksanim, and my grandfather have started a company that started with U. It starts with another U, of course, but now separated, and now today, after 80 years, now is Yuyu Pharma. And we are a pharmaceutical company doing drug discovery, as well as health supplements and medical devices. And I just became CEO this year. And a little bit about myself. Before joining Yuyu about 12 years ago, I lived in the United States for over 30 years, of which I have worked in the field of finance, consulting, and also in pharmaceuticals. So I have a variety of background before I joined Yuyu. And it's a pleasure to be in front of everybody here today to discuss some of the things that we at Yuyu have done in these difficult times. But again, a little bit about the company. So we are a global company, and we work with various partners all over the world. We do prescription and OTC products. And we also have products in the area of respiratory, home health care, and ventilators. Actually, so our ventilator business has increased over this past couple of months, obviously because of COVID-19. There's been a lot of pulmonary patients with pulmonary diseases, and we at Yuyu have a subsidiary called Yuyu Taejin that provides oxygen concentrators and ventilators to patients at home. So this business has been very busy, and for unfortunate reasons, but we try our best to support the patients who have difficulty with pulmonary diseases because of COVID. We also do health supplements, and the health supplement business has increased dramatically because patients wanted to improve their immune system. So we've seen a growth in a lot of our health supplements, especially to boost the immune system. And I guess what I wanted to talk about, during this presentation role is exactly what do we do at Yuyu, especially in these times, and if we at Yuyu can offer any, I guess, examples to the current audience. So because of Corona, we actually noticed that there was a surge in increase in patients who were looking for PPEs, right? Personal protection equipment. And starting from last year, we decided to make masks, which we see here. And we actually have even our own hand sanitizers business. And we also decided to work with a COVID-19 PCR kit company, SD Biosensor. Now, I wanted to point it out that perhaps any company can make these products, but being an 80-year-old company, we do have a very strong network within Korea as well as the global markets. I think, as a person who runs a company, it's essential to not only understand how to build the business, but to also understand what the global needs are. And early on, just because we have a global network and that it is our responsibility to understand the global trends, we did pick up this trend of personal protection equipment and have made these products. And to a certain extent, have been very fortunate to be asked by global partners to provide these products. So we've actually been able to not only provide these products not only for the people in Korea, but we've also been able to provide these products for people outside and export these products. So the role of the company, I think, these COVID ideas, is not only to make sure that we are a successful business, but I think we should also be socially responsible, especially if as a healthcare company, it's important to be socially conscious and make sure that we don't only do things just for a return, but make sure that we play our part as a global citizen and think about the welfare of everybody. So we've been very fortunate to increase our business as well as take care of our social responsibility as a global citizen. And because of this fact, we've been actually covered by various media sources, one of which is obviously Aju News, but we've been covered by Bloomberg as well as CNN for these efforts. And again, we did these activities not because I wanted the coverage, but again, I think it was a need that we had to do as a socially responsible company. My presentation, by the way, was very short, so. I think, so as a company and as a CEO, you tend to hear a lot of things. The previous presenter has interestingly presented some facts that I thought that was very interesting. Especially people now, they're doing meetings through Zoom, and so that there's an increase in plastic surgery. I thought that was very interesting, but I actually do know that's true because we do actually provide products for the plastic surgery market, and we do see an increase in product sales in that area. But I guess what I also wanted to share with you is what we at Yuyu are currently doing for our employees and how we are operating in this COVID situation. Just some interesting facts. I used to travel a lot. I actually travel, about maybe 5-6 times a year, just going international meetings and so forth. This year, I have not traveled at all. And based on some information, especially from the International Air Transport Association, which is the association related to all travel, they say that the global travel will not return to last year's travel rate until 2024. So that means that's still a long way. I mean, that's almost 2.5 years from now until we actually return back to some normalcy. And actually, if we actually want to come to normalcy, there needs to be the population needs to reach this period called herd immunity, which is in Korean called 집단 면역. And this too, people believe, will take until 2023. So with that in mind, and as a person running an international company, we have to find some creative ways to operate in this new normal environment. So just to share some of the activities we at Yuyu have done. And again, I can't represent the entire pharmaceutical company. I'm just representing what we at Yuyu are doing right now. So it's not only important to educate the patients and the public, but it's also important that we actually educate even our own employees. Our employees have, because we have a sales organization, a lot of our employees travel from hospital to hospital. So we educate our salespeople to make sure to keep very good hygiene, which is very important. And if they are well trained, they too will then train the patients and doctors, which then can help prevent the spread of COVID-19. I obviously thought this was normal. I mean, because we make masks and we make hand sanitizers, during February, March, and April, the company has provided free masks and hand sanitizers to all employees who work at Yuyu. And I thought that was quite normal. And in some instances, I hear that actually that's not the case. And that too was covered by the media. But I think in protecting, as a company and as a person responsible for its employees, providing free personal protective equipment is essential, and that's what we've done. And we too, like everybody else, have implemented remote working policies and guidelines. I think this is a global issue, in the sense that I've spoken to many CEOs from different countries at different companies. And there's a lot of people that were very hesitant to do remote working, but had no choice because of the pandemic. And I agree. I mean, I had the same concerns. The concerns would be, will the employees be interactive as they would be in the office? Would there be good communication? Would somebody take advantage of the situation and not actually be doing work? So it's important to actually set up really clear guidelines and to a certain extent really trust your employees. So when the COVID broke out and we decided to partially do remote working, we had actually a meeting, a town hall meeting, where I asked the employees to follow policies and procedures, and that I truly trust them, and that the remote working is not a vacation. So for any of those who are still trying to figure out how to have a very well-organized remote working program, I think it's important to have clear guidelines to say that 9 to 5 is working time, that your cell phones and your emails always needs to be open, and that you must be able to pick up the phone, and that this is not a vacation time, and that you need to distinguish between vacations and work time. So as simple as that might sound, and as obvious as that might sound, without having that clear communication with your employees, the remote working policies will not operate properly. So my advice for people who are struggling a bit, especially senior managers, I think it's important that you sit down with your colleagues and have that open discussion of how you expect them to act at home while they're doing remote working work. So those are some of the things that I would like to highlight. Oh, and actually a very interesting thing. When we were talking about remote working, I was surprised to see that there are some people who actually don't have computers at home. I don't know everybody in this room, if everybody has a computer, but I realize that some people don't have computers. They're just happy with their cell phones, and they don't have a computer at home. So there was actually an issue of providing notebook computers to some staff members in order to get work done. So those are some of the interesting things that came about when talking about working policies. So those are some of the things that I wanted to highlight about Yuyu's policies. And again, I think the role of a company during these COVID-19s is to not only steer the business into positive territory, but also be socially responsible, not only to your customers, but for our situation, the patients, the frontline workers and the healthcare workers, and also to your employees. And with that, I'd like to end my presentation. Thank you.